Hello and good morning, and welcome to the next seminar, the second part of our seminar dedicated to train the trainers. As I have mentioned in the first part, we will underline the opportunities created for the trainers in order to use the already created open education resources for trainers to improve their activities in the higher education institutions. I mean, education research or mentoring, tutoring, the young generation of specialists, experts in the field of plastic circularity. Let's start with the main issue and repeat after all what's happening with the where you can find the resources, and of course how can you manage with these resources, uh, your knowledge transfer in currently environment context of learning in your university. So I would like to point it out that on the project website, Edu for Plastic Circular, Education for Plastic in a Circular and Climate Neutral Economy, Preventing Waste Ending Up into the Environment, you will find all the resources already created for the trainers. So, if you want to discover more about the project, you will go in the section about the project. I have already introduced the partners, and I would like to give a lot of thanks to them for the efforts that have been uh, done in the last 18 months already for the development of these training materials. My name is Anka Dragic. I will be the host of this webinar, and I am the project manager and leader of the Politehnica University of Timișoara team. We are a very interesting transdisciplinary team, engineers, together with the engineers of different specializations, economist and lawyer, one lawyer. We are together to implement this project. We would like to thank very much to Dermol family for their visual image and design. Even the web page is their creation, and you will see that we have upload here a lot of innovative materials, useful, that are the results of the international consortium of this project. Another important partner of ours is University Politehnica of Valencia. Colleagues from Valencia belong to material engineering and industrial engineering field, and the Faculty of Environment Protection from Veljeni in Slovenia. They are more in the field of environment protection, and they were formerly part of the micro plastic project, which is a small-scale project which create a consistent basis for the Edu for Plastic circular project development. And last team is the University Transylvania from Brașov, also from Romania, also a transdisciplinary team which will develop the materials, the training materials related to um, waste impact, plastic material impact on the environment, water, air, and human being health. I forgot to tell you that, or my scroll was not so funny this morning, but uh, I would like to mention that also we have together with us in the consortium the valuable experience of our colleagues from University of Insumbria in Italy, project manager Elena Cristina Rada, and they are also have a great experience in waste management and circular economy. So with this, let's go directly and find out some project results. I would like to mention that here in the project results, you will find the deliverables of our project, most from the work package 2, which was dedicated to the training program structure design and also to create valuable resources for future trainers, for the trainers and for future one. So these materials and this webinar, which is concerned with the train the trainer problem, the aim of this one is to show you where to find the resources and which type of resources are available. So, in fact, here in the project results area, you will find a consistent digital library, and I deeply hope that it will be with a lot of resources in the nearest future, not only for the trainers, but also you will see the already created resources also for trainees, which can be students, employees, managers, experts from companies, from business area, and which are interested in this plastic circularity problem. From the perspective of this the created digital library, you will find here some gap analysis and collection of best practices. Also, the collection of good practices presented by each partner are available in multimedia way, in multimedia as a multimedia resources. And also, we think about the facilitation of knowledge transfer from our consortium to the local context of learning, local specificity in each higher education institution. And we provide a lot of insights for training methodology design, how to teach, how to think about planning a training module or a lesson dedicated to a topic of this Edu for Plastic Circular training program. And here you have the training methodology. Also, we focused last webinar on the importance on defining the target group, the profile of the learners in the target group, which we so-called the training persona. And also today I will introduce to you the syllabus, the curricula, some ideas on the content of each course module. Because as you remember from the first webinar, the training program, the so-called the Edu for Plastic Circular training and certification program, is split in modules, and for each modules we have several lessons. Each lesson is developed by one or two partners, but for sure they are peer review in the project consortium. Also, I would like to point that in this deliverable part, in this part of the deliverables, you will find our PowerPoint presentation of last webinar, which is perform the online train the trainers course part A, and which is focused more on didactical issues, pedagogical issues, how to organize a training, even if you think about offering this training outside for a target group from outside the universities. I mean, employees, expert managers for companies, people for NGO maybe, and also how to prepare a training session with your students. Also, we offer some ideas on how to use storytelling. I think it's a very innovative way of doing this training for non-specialized students, as students from economics or accounting, law, or for students, even for students from different specializations in engineering, except the environmental or chemistry engineering. And you will see that the part B, perform the online train the trainer course part B, we will focus on discovering the content, the subjects that could be teach. So associated with these two parts of the PowerPoint that we have used also for our webinar, you will find the record of the webinar on the web page, part A and part B, and a valuable resource, the ebook or the handbook for trainers, which will answer to the question how to teach this education for plastic circular training program. I will go a little bit in the ebook. You will find it, it's an open resource, and I assume that you will be delightful to see that all the partners' contributions are very well, precisely mentioned. So you can find on their emails, get in contact with the trainers, with our specialists, experts, in fact. And you will see that even the handbook is divided in two parts. For the moment, I would like to say that it's more than 200 pages of how to teach in this Edu for Plastic Circular topic, different topics in this area. And as I mentioned, first part of the handbook is dedicated to the description of the training course, the training curricula, the learning journey, and also we pointed out these issues very important about learning persona. And a brief overview of the teaching methodologies used. We have a selection of general topics, but you will see that for each module and each lesson, our colleagues have provided valuable methods and techniques to teach and to assure that your target group will get the best and most interesting knowledge as possible. So I will go to show you how the adventure of this how to teach is started. And we have here the part one, the part one of the ebook, which is dedicated to the importance and motivation of Edu for Plastic Circular Initiative. And I have mentioned here that we are focusing here on training curriculum and learner's journey. If I go back here, I will try to go directly to part two. Part two started with this introduction into the plastic world. Part two content is dedicated to explanation of each module lesson. And we so-called this part as giving relevant details for the trainers. So each lesson, for example, in the introduction into the plastic world, we have plastic in our daily life, which is the first lesson. And after the short brief presenting of the topic and then the learning objective, we present here, there are presented learning activities and assessment. We even allocate some hours, time minutes, some time budget for lecturer, for activity itself and for the assessment. And we make up some observations and we add info about materials, description, how to do the activities and how to perform the assessment. And also with the second and third and fourth, so you have here, for example, four options for the learning activities. Yes, so it's very generous from our side that we have added some interesting issues. Of course, you will have some references related to each learning activity, because it's nice to invite your learners to read or the trainers to extend their knowledge in the field. So this is our handbook, and believe me, it's a very nice one and very useful one. We have already tested with some students in our university. So in the next minutes, I will go further and introduce to you the. I have introduced to you. I would like to introduce to you the second topics, the second part topics of the webinars of this webinar, and please allow me to share with you this is the just one second, I make a mistake. It was the last slide, but we are not in the last slide. Okay. So it is very important to understand how the materials are organized, because then it will be easily to get quick access to the info that you are needed. That's why we think that it's very important to know the structure, to understand the structure of our of the web page, because usually the web page is the area, the virtual area, the online area where you can find all the resources and the news, of course. Second virtual place will be the e-learning platform. It's under construction yet. We will have a webinar dedicated to this also. And the third one will be the YouTube channel, where all the multimedia materials will be available, including this webinar. And the fourth area is the social media area. We are using Facebook to underline to show you, to quickly demonstrate the news and the events that are coming. When I talk about events, not only the dissemination events, but more the training events in each university, in each organization partner in this project. So the part two of the training webinar dedicated to trainers will be some pedagogical aspects of how to teach. This is complementary with the part two of the handbook. And I would like to thank you very much for giving the opportunity to speak in front of you. You have seen that this presentation is also developed by the consortium members. The authors, we would like to thank you very much to all the contributors with their valuable ideas and creative ideas. And because this part is dedicated to the training program structure and content, I will deeply underline this idea that we imagine, we, the consortium of the project, we imagine the Edu4Plastic Circular Training Program, training and certification program, in 5 modules. First of all, introduction into the plastic world, then plastic waste management, plastic in circular economy and climate neutral, innovation in the plastic world, and last one, awareness of plastic waste impact and responsible behavior. So 5 modules very diverse knowledge. And once again, it is possible, yes, it is possible to have one module, two modules, and to transfer them into your subject of teaching or in a curriculum of a master program or bachelor master program. I think that the idea of this training program is to be useful for PhD students and also for expert employees, managers from business and industry, which we consider the groups of our project. So regarding module 1, introduction into the plastic world, we pointed out the main aspects from the syllabus. So the main topics lessons that will be in the structure will be the structure, part of the structure of this module. Plastic in our daily life, why, where, and how. Plastic materials typology and related manufacturing technologies. Standards and norms, legislation for plastic in circular economy, terminology, glossary of terms, learning resources and training methods, and also references. You will see that all the training modules will have some references. All the lessons will have available references. Sometimes you will find also future or additional resources. And when I mean for what we mean of additional resources to be studied are not only references in a classic way of understanding, but also multimedia resources, YouTube movies, from YouTube usually, or from our past project, the microplastic project. For each lesson are defined a group of learning objectives, and here you have 7. 1, plastic in our daily life. So this is the first lesson. And the assessment activities, which can be plastic basics through lecturer and hands-on activities, quiz and truth and false question on the history and application of plastic characteristic experiments, and daily plastic usage diary and necessary reflection. The assessment can be based on completeness and thoughtfulness, participations, quality of analysis. You can invite students to develop even multimedia materials, short video, and to get a story and explain what's happening. Plastic materials typology related and related manufacturing technologies, 5 learning objectives, and also 4 activities and assessment. This is how we imagine that you can train the lesson about plastic materials and technologies by using plastic material typology through lecture and hands-on activities, quiz and true-false questions on the plastic materials typology, related polymer manufacturing technologies, which it's a learning activity very useful in the field of industrial engineering maybe, and evaluate the sustainability of different plastic materials and manufacturing methods reflection. In this lesson, we are most focused on the impact, maybe, yes, wide typology of plastic materials, and also was the concept that it's promoted here, it's clean technologies, because of this related manufacturing technologies topic that was considered. As the assessment, you have 2 options, but they are not limited. The third lesson and the fourth one are most collection of something. In the third lesson, we plan to provide standards and norm legislation for plastic in circular economy. So a collection of regulations. Okay, so that's why you will not have any it's not limited, but depending on local national legislation, you will discover new ideas. And the terminology, a glossary of terms, which will offer a short glossary, a brief glossary of all the concepts that are used in the Edu4Plastic circular training and certification program. So you can see here some of the concept, but you will see that they are based on references or they are based on the existing standards and norms. Of course, that's why this will be in the end, these two lessons, two dictionaries, in fact, will be available in the end of the training program development. And all the lessons will be ready. Then we will have also the terminology list in alphabetical order and the standards, norms, yes, as we discovered them as useful. And also some learning resources and training methods. It's interesting to have an overview of this one. Contribute to the training context development, and second, study and complete all other modules. That's a usefulness, and attend the live training events. Yes, please follow us on Facebook and you will find when the live training events took part. And mentor online training. I have discussed these aspects in the first webinar. Let's go now and discuss a little bit about the content and how to implement the module number 2, which is plastic waste management. And we have here a lot of lessons: source of plastic waste plastic and leakage to landfill, waste plastic and leakage to water, waste micro nanoplastic in the air, Zero Plastic Initiative, and some learning resources and training methods. So the first lesson of the module 2, it's source of plastic waste. We have 5 learning objectives and 4 learning activities. Plastic waste sources through lecturer and hands-on activities, quiz, true, false question on the household and industrial plastic waste sources, investigating source of plastic waste through experimentation, because we know that in many higher education institutions there are a lot of facilities, capacities built up for experiments, and reflection on trash to treasure, a plastic-free environment future challenge. So the second lesson is waste, plastic, and leakage to landfill. And you have here also some learning activities. I will not go in deep because I would like you, dear trainers, to discover all the interesting ideas that have been provided via this presentation and via using the handbook, the online handbook for trainers. And also waste plastic and leakage to water. And you can see here how we plan to develop the learning activities. Waste plastic, micro nanoplastic in the air, learning objective, learning activities. Zero Plastic Initiative, which is a very funny thing. Yeah, we introduced it because of this connection, yeah, with the circular economy principle, and also some learning resource. Learning methods could be project-based learning, collaborative learning, experiential learning, case studies, use case studies, best practices. We have already developed some multimedia materials to support this way of teaching and learning, online courses and workshops, simulation games, if any, and available, and reflective practice. Don't hesitate to invite experts to talk about pollution, plastic pollution, and don't forget to invite medical staff to present the effects on human life, human being, or animals, or other on the biodiversity of this planet. Let's go and discover a little bit module 3, which is much more dedicated to issues related to circular economy, but in connection with the plastic world. And the content of the course, of the lessons, will talk about climate neutrality also. So here it's a brief presentation of the syllabus like usually, and now we will discover the lessons. Circular economy and life cycle thinking. It's very important that our students to understand this concept, life cycle thinking, not only from professional perspective, from their professional life perspective, but most from their social, personal life, because they are important users. They become users before they become engineers, economists, and so on. And we provide for learning activities and assessment. And of course, the second lesson will be about from waste to recycling plant, turning plastic waste into resource. How can you do it? This is a way of doing things more or less in circular economy, transforming or thinking about using the waste of other as a resources for economic entities. And the learning activities and assessment are presented in brief here. Scheme of solution of plastic downcycling, scheme of solution for plastic recycling, scheme and solution for plastic upcycling, and similarity analysis. You will discover this in details in the handbook. And the lesson 3 is collect and recovery of plastic packaging materials. So we rise up the problem, the training course, rise up the problem of recovery of the plastic materials from packaging, because this is very, it's an area with a lot of plastic waste. And the collection and recovery should be pointed to students, should be teach. So the learning activities also have 4 propositions from our side, and I think that you will discover interesting ideas on how to teach this topic. The lesson 4, advanced recycling and reuse technologies for plastic materials, is much more dedicated to the technological part. Maybe it's useful to transfer this idea into industrial engineering area area of study, but not only. You will find scheme of solution of plastic recycling, plastic reusing plastic technologies in general, some case studies, because best practice case studies are interesting. Even bad practices are very useful. We can learn from our mistake. Number 5 is plastic lesson, plastic incineration and energy recovery. And you will find an interesting topic of discussion. Learning activities and assessment are presented here. Differences between combustion gasification pyrolysis, solid recovery fuel from plastic waste, energy recovery from plastic waste, environmental impact of energy recovery from plastic waste. So overall, learning resources and training methods deals with these ideas that are presented in deep here. The same contribute to the training content development, then study and complete all the other modules, and the other one, attend the live training events, if any available, mentor online training, mentorship, it's very important when you make this, when you implement this education for plastic circular. In Module 4, we are focusing on innovation in the plastic world. And here is a brief overview of the syllabus points. Also, the module rise up the idea of new materials, clean technologies, and will provide interesting ideas on how to teach to different type of students, specialization and level of study. This innovation, it's a core idea, even if you transfer and you teach this with students in management activities, in social sciences, you will find very interesting ideas on how to push them to think different, think out of the box. So the first lesson is new materials and substitutes. You will think that this is much more related to material science, yes, but everybody should be interested in new materials and substitutes because it's a hot topic nowadays. The learning activities presented here suggested are four, and more or less they will support the knowledge transfer in a particular context and with particular target groups of students. The second lesson is dedicated to ecoplastic solutions, product design, best practices. Now we will discover the design activity, ecoplastic solution from the design perspective. And this could be a very challenge activity for your students, eco-design workshop, material selection exercise, life cycle assessment project, or design challenges. So it could be a topic for bachelor, master, or PhD students, of course, and it should be a topic at each level of education because it's connected with this life cycle thinking and the impact of our activities, our engineering activities, engineer technical activities on environment in general. Eco-solution and clean technologies, we will get closer to the technological part, technological process best practices. It's interesting that we focused very nice on clean technologies as learning activities, quiz, true-false questions, related eco solutions and clean technologies, and evaluate the sustainability of different eco materials and manufacturing best practice. How to evaluate, how to assess that it's eco, it's nice with the environment, friendly with the environment. Mixed waste sorting, the fourth lesson. We propose also some learning objective and learning activities and assessment here. It seems that related waste manufacturing technologies could be one way of learning activities, or evaluate the sustainability of different waste materials and manufacturing methods, reflection on this. Sure, learning resources, training methods, and references refers to the same four ideas. Contribute to the training, content development, study and complete all other modules, attend the live trainings events, and mentor online trainings. Let's discover the last module, which is awareness of plastic waste impact and responsible behavior. I think that this will be the most successful, probably. I don't know. The others also will be successful, implemented for sure. But this one, it's very interesting from the perspective of the impact of plastic materials, plastic technologies, the plastic world on human being. And the lessons are briefly presented here, and this first one is circular economy and climate neutral new mindset for higher education institutions educator, which is a challenge topic, how to teach this one, how to create the awareness of this one, how to change mindsets for different trainers, teaching staff, skills people. Here we propose two learning activities, the big picture of plastic in our contemporary world, storytelling, case studies, best practices. And the second one, learning from experience, share experience and knowledge from local stakeholders, scientists and researchers, storytelling and TED Talks, if you can find this useful. The second lesson is plastic, including micro nanoplastic waste impact on human life. I told you that this seems to be, from my perspective, the most interesting one. I have read a lot in the last months, and if you go on the webpage in the newsletter field, you will see that it's a dominant concern of our consortium of partners. Plastic, including micro nanoplastic waste impact on human life, on biodiversity, on our planet. The learning activities and assessment, we propose here three: a medical perspective on plastic waste impact on human health, microplastic from textile, hands-on fabric investigation and true-false game, and the third one, microplastic from cosmetics ingredients, check and dye alternatives. Pollution and depollution related to plastic, it's the third lesson on this module. We know that we pollute. Let's see how we can depollute. The learning activities that are proposed and discussed, even in the handbook, in the online resource that have been created, are plastic pollution case studies, using cause-effect analysis. TED Talks, maybe plastic depollution strategies and technique, case studies, cause-effect analysis, and TED Talks also. Then the fourth lesson is extended organization responsibility. It's about responsible behavior, and this is related to ethical behavior of companies and public bodies also. So we are interested in having the discussion on at the level of organizations also. In this lesson, the learning activities and assessment are four, starting from production and consumption patterns, extending producer responsibility concept, plastic traceability for extended producer responsibility, and last but not least, ethical perspective in plastic circularity. The fifth lesson is citizen responsibility, so not organization, but citizen, ethical behavior in consumption and use, and the same three activities are proposed in the learning and assessment area: plastic consumption patterns and effects, responsibility of different stakeholders in the plastic pollution problem, and campaign design for plastic pollution reduction. Also, the last lesson, which is very tricky and very interesting, rethinking education awareness of plastic initiatives in circular economy. And we are thinking to promote and to share our experience related to Edu4Plastic circular solution implementation in different contexts. So it will be like a collection of good practices and experiences. And that's why we are focused on three learning activities: plastic consumption patterns and effects, educational initiatives, responsibility of different educational authorities, campaigns designed for plastic pollution reduction, educational solution. So I would like to thank you very much, and don't forget to enjoy the training and certification program to get involved. And last but not least, motivate your students in greening the plastic world. These I assume that these are useful resources for the implementation process, and that you will find great ideas to create a diverse world in this greening the plastic world too. Don't forget to follow us and to follow the news on the website of the project also. Thank you very much and see you in other events with other presentations. Bye bye.